on guys, Midget here, bringing you another Walking Dead video review. Today, I wouldn't say it's a good episode, I would say it's a very bad episode today. It's pretty boring, so, I mean, you can't skip because you'll miss a giant plot of the story. Like, this episode is really long. However, if you missed it, it wouldn't be that much of a big deal because nothing happened. I'll just say straight away that probably the best and the biggest thing that happened was Andrea about to kill the governor at the right end, which she didn't do. She wussed out then. Anyway, the episode starts off with after the governor's first initial attack on the prison. Rick needs to step up, and Herschel calls him out to step up. He says, "We need you now. Now is the time we need you," basically. In a private moment when Rick just went out to look, I think it was Laurie, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it might have been Laurie, it might have just been snipers, because he did mention snipers later on in the episode. And Carl just comes up to him and says, he has to give Laurie a break. He needs rest. Carl is coping with Laurie's death better than Rick, but and also Carl said that Rick needs to step from his leadership role until he's properly recovered, which I say does too, because you should let Daryl lead the group for a bit, since Rick isn't in a stable situation for him to actually lead the group, because I don't believe he could do it, since he's gonna go, if someone sees Laurie, like Andrea later on in the episode, she went and where's Laurie, and Rick just looked like he had tears in his eyes, and I swear down, it's not nice talking about your dead relative, but I mean, he has to recover, like I was thinking about this, one episode of The Walking Dead might be like 1 week in that world, it's like weird, because you see all these jump cuts, don't you, and like for the advert breaks, and it might be like a new day, something like that, so it might be a week in one episode, so it's probably been at least 2 months, at least, since Laurie's death. So I know that's not enough for you to cope, but at least stop crying and stuff. Just don't have the visions. But as he said earlier on in the last episode, I think he thinks he means something. Anyway, Andrea wants to come back to the prison. She asks Milton to keep his mouth shut and just sneak her through, and then just don't tell the governor anything. But Milton's Milton, and he went straight to the governor and told him that she wants to leave, and the governor was like, okay, let her leave, and then Milton wasn't quite sure, and he's like, is this a test or not, which I didn't like, I didn't like that at all, because at this point I was like, this is boring, I thought it might heat up a bit since Andrea's going, and the governor might attack Milton, thingy, and on that way they meet Tyrese's group, and while they're in the process of chopping a walker's hands off, both his hands, and cracking his breaking all his teeth, so he can't bite you, so it's just a repellent like Michonne used to use. And while they're doing that, they meet Tyrese's group, and Milton leaves Andrea and says he'll lead them back to Woodbury, and he did so, and fortunate enough for the governor, later on in the episode, Tyrese actually mentioned the prison, and the governor, the governor played it out well, Milton didn't, and Milton, was very, he wanted to know everything, and the governor was like, having a good night's sleep, and then I'll tell you, and, I found that, well played by the governor. And, meanwhile, Andrea comes back to the prison, and, she's not welcomed greatly. She's just, get down from Rick and stuff, It's just, for a former, I guess, she slept with the governor, and they know about it, so they wouldn't be that nice to her, since her boyfriend attacked them, and that's what Rick pretty much said, basically, in, later on, your boyfriend attacked us, and then they had this debate, that Andrea said that the governor said that the group attacked first, and and then Michonne says the governor set out Mel to kill him, and she goes in, and this point is what I said before, she asked where T-Dog it was. I don't think she ask where T-Dog is, but like Shane and Laurie, I know for 100%. And like I said, Michonne reveals that Mel has killed her, and Carol urges Andrea to end the conflict by returning to Woodbury, giving the governor a good night's sleep, you know, like sleeping with him, and then when he's asleep, she slits his throat. And I thought that was well played from Carol, because, you know, I mean, Carol's not the type of person that would say that, if you think about it, you know. Carol is a nice person, stuff like that, and Carol would never do that. And in one deleted scene, I don't want to say something, but it is pretty epic. Meanwhile, this Herschel tries to connect with Mel. He brings him the Bible, or something like that, you know, amends with Michonne. He brings in the Bible and, you know, reads a bit out of it, and, you know, I was surprised by what Mel said. I don't know, I didn't see Herschel giving Mel the Bible, but Mel sort of finished the sentence and said it was by, like, I don't think, Matthew 21:15 or something like that. And he said something like that, and it was kind of a shock moment, because if Mel got this by himself, you know, I'm surprised he's a Catholic, or, you know, Christian or whatever, since he reads the Bible. You know, I would expect him to be an atheist and stuff, and I'm not getting into religion wars here, but, you know, just by the look of him, you know, he's not nice. And they're going to, in his war with Rick, Tyrese told him that Milton wanted to know the layout, and so did the governor, and how the front of the prison, is, you know, fully broken, and they can go in through there. But, you know, the governor, like I said, he played it out well. He said, get a good night's sleep. And Rick gives Andrea a car, a gun, and a knife, I presume, since it might have been hers. And anyway, it's funny because she went to him, you know, she did everything that the group wanted, and then she's about to kill him. She puts the knife, like, I don't know, that close, maybe like, I don't know, 3 inches, something away from his throat, and then she just turns around and looks out the window and doesn't do it. And I was pretty devastated at this moment, you know. The episode wasn't great, but that, I knew he wouldn't have died, because I seen, like, you know, I know the episode 4, season 4, is like Rick against the governor still, so I know he wouldn't have died, but I was hoping she would have killed him. So just kill him now! No, you can end this! Like Carl would say, and then she didn't end up doing it. And back in Woodbury, Angela lies in the bed with sleeping governor, raising a knife to him, but cannot bring herself to kill him. That's the words and the quote of The Walking Dead. So, yeah, this episode was pretty boring, like I said, and the ending was pretty terrible in my opinion. It was just basically Beth singing, and Rick, Michonne, Rick, Daryl and Herschel were like debating, discussing rather, what will happen tomorrow, and Rick said he's going to take Michonne to sneak into the Woodbury and kill them all. And I don't know if that meant Andrea, but anything. Daryl said, is that a good idea, since, you know, Michonne is sort of not nice, and well, not nice, I wouldn't say that, you know, she's a rebel out of the people, you know, she's one of the badass people. And you know, Rick goes, I don't know, we'll see, and he just tells Daryl to, like, watch out for his brother, and if he does any stupid things, then Daryl has to end, well, not kill him, but, you know, end, like, the stupidness. And yeah, this episode, I ain't a Judas. I would say Greg Nicotero is not the right person to, well, he's edited, directed perfectly, but this episode is boring, and I can't say anything bad about Greg Nicotero. I can't say that after, because of one episode. One episode means he's a terrible director, because, you know, that's just unfair. But I need to say that he shouldn't do this, like, if you know what I mean. I see that Home was an amazing episode, so they need to slow it down a bit. So I see that, and I see why the title is I Ain't a Judas, you know. I don't know if it's because of Andrea. I know it's about Andrea. I don't know if it's about going to the prison or meant to kill her boyfriend, you know. I don't know which one it is, but whatever it is, I know the title. This one got 11.01 million views, so that's, I presume that is 11,100,000 or just 10,000 or whatever, yeah. And I got to admit, this episode 7 out of 10 because it was actually not the greatest of episodes. However, you know, I understand why they did it, and maybe I said this for loads, but I understand why they did it. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. If you did, make sure to leave a like somewhere around the screen, and I'll see you guys later. This is Midget, and I'll see you guys later.